You know what everyone gets wrong about women over 50? They think we're starting businesses because we finally have the time, or because we've got savings, or because we're bored. They're completely wrong. The real reason women over 50 are becoming entrepreneurs at record rates, it has nothing to do with free time and everything to do with fully reclaiming our power. I'm Dr. Geneva, and after decades in executive leadership, running multi-million dollar initiatives, building nationally recognized models, raising over $100 million, I made a bold move in my 60s. I walked away from the system I helped build, not because I wasn't successful, but because I knew I hadn't even scratched the surface of my purpose. And I discovered something that shocked me. Women like us, smart, seasoned, accomplished, are driving the biggest wave of new entrepreneurship in America. The numbers will surprise you. And the reasons behind them, they might just unlock everything you've been quietly feeling. Let's get into what's really happening and why this moment could change your life too. Here's what most people never say out loud about high achieving women. You can have the title, the accolades, the impact, and still feel like something is missing. You can be the one everyone turns to when things fall apart, but somehow still feel invisible when it's time for recognition. You've done everything right. You've led, you've sacrificed, you've succeeded. But there's that quiet voice that whispers, is this it? I know it well. I had a respected leadership career. My work was impactful. But there came this moment when I really realized I was playing a powerful game, but still by someone else's rules. Every idea for women's leadership I pitched sometimes got stalled in bureaucracy. Every initiative for broader impact came with sometimes that red tape and gatekeepers. It wasn't that we weren't successful. It's that our success was sometimes contained, boxed in by outdated structures and someone else's vision. We weren't stuck because we lacked talent. We were stuck because the systems weren't built really with us in mind. At least that's what I was feeling. So what did we do? We followed the script. We asked for what we'd earned. We requested flexibility, but they said no. We pitched new ideas and heard back. That's not how we do things here. We trained the new hire, then watched them get promoted over us. You know what I'm talking about now. Some of us got restructured out. Some got tired of the fight. And some of us just left quietly. I did everything I could to push new ideas from inside the system, the model that I was working in. Leadership programs for women, community transformation models. But the answer really was always the same. Not now, or I couldn't do it the way that I really had the vision for and what I really wanted to see happen. It was then that I realized that the problem isn't that we're asking for too much. The problem is that we're asking at all. Okay. So we stopped waiting. We built our own. Women over 50 are now the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in America. That's not a motivational phase, it's a data point. We make up 26% of all new entrepreneurs. And we're not just starting businesses, we're outperforming younger founders. Women in our 50s and 60s are twice as likely to succeed in business as women in their 20s. Mhm. That's right. Twice as likely. Why? Because we're not guessing anymore. We do know what matters here in midlife, and we're finally building it for ourselves. Let me show you what's really driving this movement. Reason number one, we're finally chasing our own dreams. After decades of putting everyone else's stuff first, family, work, causes, you know what I mean? We're finally asking, well, what do I want? Nearly 1 in 4 women over 50 who start businesses say they do it to pursue a personal passion. This isn't about building another job, it's about building meaning, purpose. For me, that's what it was. It was about creating spaces for women like you to lead boldly, live vibrantly, and design their own futures. I couldn't do that within someone else's structure. As much as I loved it, I had to create my own. In fact, 71% of female founders say they're driven by impact, not just income. We're not doing this for just to stay busy. We're doing this to finally live out, be aligned with our purpose. Reason number two why you see this growing trend of entrepreneurs over 50. We want flexibility and control. So let's be real. By the time we hit 50, we are done with rigid schedules, invisible labor, and someone else owning our time. You know what I mean? Now, in 2023, 70% of women who launched businesses said flexibility was their number one reason to do that. They want to work how they want to work, when they want. If you want to take care of a parent, or if you need, or if you had those kinds of obligations, you can. If you want to write at 6 a.m. and walk at noon, you can. If you want to travel or just rest, yes, you can. Entrepreneurship becomes our path to freedom and taking control. For me, it meant I could coach a woman in New York, consult with a team in Nairobi, and still walk in peace by the water in the afternoon. Can you see? This isn't about working less, though. It's about working on your own terms, by your own design. Reason number three why you'll see this movement growing. We need financial security on our own terms. More than 50% of midlife women entrepreneurs are doing this for a very important reason: to never be financially vulnerable again. Not because we broke, but because we're awake. We've seen what happens when someone else controls your paycheck. We've watched peers lose jobs after decades of loyalty. And we've asked ourselves, what if that happens to me? So we're building income streams we own. We're protecting our futures, and we're turning our expertise into equity. We're monetizing the milestones we've achieved in our life. I read the other day one study that showed that 73% of midlife women entrepreneurs pay themselves a salary. So this isn't a hobby. This is economics. This is an economic engine we're building. So we're not retiring, we're reclaiming, and we're reinvesting in ourselves. So here's what's really happening. We're not starting businesses because we have to. We're starting them because we finally can and we know how, because we're in this midlife phase where we can turn decades of experience, wisdom, and lived leadership into impact. And we're doing it on our own design, our own terms. Yes, we're designing the lives we actually want to live. No more waiting for recognition, no more playing small, no more fitting into a system built without us in mind. This is the new model of midlife. It's a beautiful phase of life. It's not retiring, reimagining, not fading out, starting up. So if you feel yourself nodding today as I'm talking, if your heart says yes, but your brain said, well, heck, let's take a first step together. I created a free guide, Reinvention After 50, Your Strategic Action Plan, and it walks you through how to go from stuck to building something that's it's just completely yours. Because this isn't just about starting a business. This is about building a life you own. You've spent decades supporting others. Now it's time to bet on yourself. Download the guide below because your dream didn't expire. It's been waiting for you to say yes. And now is your time. Thank you for joining me. Continue to watch on this channel as we talk about everything midlife reinvention and transformation. It's a beautiful phase of life. And remember, midlife is just the beginning.